What's up, guys? Pads on Poker here again, and I've got a video I've been really excited to make. I've wanted to do live videos, hand breakdowns, podcasts, but these documentary styles are something which I'm really passionate of doing. So at the end of the video, if you do enjoy it, please let me know, and I'll do more of them. If you want me to just talk about how to play Ace King on the button, I can do that, no problem. So what this video is going to be is I'm going to tell you who was the #1 poker player every year from 2005 all the way up to 2020. We're going to stop at 2020, and I'm going to tell you who my power rankings for the top 10 online poker players in the world are right now. But we're going to go all the way back to 2005, and we're going to think, or we're going to look on Pocket Fives, who was the #1 player. Google. 2005 Pocket Fives #1. It's the OG, the godfather of online poker. Surely you guys know who I'm speaking about. Maybe you don't. Maybe this is before a lot of your guys' time. 2005, 16 years ago almost. It's Cliff Josephie. It's JohnnyBax, absolute legend of online poker. He was born in 1970. 1970. He started playing poker probably before any of us were born, or most of us were born. Not only was he #1 in the world at the time, arguably #2, #3, #4, #5, #6, #7, #8, #9, #10 were his horses. He had the biggest poker stable in the world. He was legendary, not just for playing poker, but for staking people in poker too. He had huge success for years. He was a pioneer of online poker at the time. He was amongst the biggest study groups in the world who worked out how to free bet, how to c bet. There's no solvers around. It was them against you. It was America against Europe, and America dominated these times. They absolutely dominated these times. So where's Josephie now? Josephie kept playing. In 2016, Josephie final tabled the WSOP main event, finishing third for millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's arguably the best World Series of Poker of modern era. Key Win put on arguably the best show of the modern era as well. And Cliff Josephie was kind of battling with him at the time. He was coached by players who are going to be future #1s. He's a legend. He still plays. In 2020, he was still seen playing on GG Poker in Mexico, wherever he traveled to play, debatably. $400 tournaments. It's incredible. This guy loves poker. Born in 1970, makes him 50 years old now, still competing at the highest level, probably still playing in some live games or whatever else. I played against him last year in Vegas. He was taking it so seriously. You may think this guy made millions and millions and millions of dollars. He's going to be chill, he's going to be relaxed, retired, but he's in there. He's battling in these 1500s. Every hand you play against him, it feels like it's going to be his last ever hand. He takes it so seriously, and that's why he got to #1. So #1, legend of poker, all the way back to 2005, Cliff Josephie. #2 is so exciting for me, all the way back in 2006. We're going in chronological order here. This is not ranking of the best or worst or anything. #2 is such an interesting one. It's a one which actually hurts me a little bit. #2 is Annette OBRESTAD, and Net 15 at the time, in my opinion, had the potential to go down in history as the #1 poker player of all time. Not the #1 female, but the #1 poker player of all time. At just 18 years old, she was #1 in the world. 1 year later, in 2007, she ended up winning the World Series of Poker Europe main event, which was recognized by everyone as the toughest tournament in the world. Absolute incredible achievement. As a 19-year-old girl from Norway who'd never played live poker before, it's probably her first ever live tournament. She went and won the toughest tournament in the world. She would get sponsored by Full Tilt. She would travel around the world. She starred on shows like Poker After Dark. She went to Aussie Millions. She kept playing online tournaments. One of her biggest accomplishments, to me, this may be the biggest accomplishment in online poker. She won a tournament, you can find it on YouTube, without ever looking at her cards. She played position, she played her players, she played her reads, and she didn't look at her cards, and she won the tournament. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. If you want me to do this as my next video, to attempt this, write in the comments and tell me. I probably won't be able to, but I'll give it a good go. Unfortunately, Annette didn't prove herself to have that legacy that we all thought she would do. She quit poker not long ago, and she's now living in Vegas. This is quite a funny story. She lives in Vegas, and she's like a beauty she does beauty. She has a YouTube channel. She does effects and she does makeup, and her hair is blue and pink and purple. To me, it's a sad story because she must be one of the most talented poker players of all time. To be this girl, underaged, crushing everyone all around the world. But remember, this was a time when America crushed, America dominated, and Annette was like, "No, I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna crush." Just so impressive to go around the world, crushing the live scene, to continue crushing the online scene, to win this tournament without looking at her cards. Your 2006 number one is Annette Overstad. So now, 2008, we have Doc Sands. This is a player who impressed me so much. I was just a young kid. I had no idea how to play. I would watch streams and EPTs, and this guy just crushed. I remember in like 100Ks and WSOP main events, he always managed to be on the feature table. He had such good composure, such a good live presence. It just seemed like I didn't know how to play, and I knew I didn't know how to play, but I was like, this guy knows how to play. I was like, I wish I could play like him. I didn't know how or why or what he did. He just seemed like he knew what he was doing. He unfortunately quit poker quite early. He did manage to get 8 million in live cashes, but in online cashes, he only cashed for $3 million. And it may sound silly, only 3 million, but we're going to see some of the people we're going to look at later in the list, they've cashed for 15, 20 million, huge amounts of money. Doc quit poker at the right time. He got an offer, I believe, to work in investment and in finance, and he quit. He got out the game at the top, crushing. He probably still plays recreational, I believe, but you don't see him showing up for any big stops. You never see him playing online. So kind of a sad one that Doc quit relatively early, but it is what it is, and that is what it is. He's going to be our 2008 legend number one pocket fives player. Our next one is a very, very polarizing figure, Sean fucking Deeb. I love him. You may hate him, but honestly, this guy is a legend of poker. And in 2009, he was absolutely crushing the online MTTs. Remember, there was no solver here. There was no real theory going on. It was your strategy. I'm going to make a strategy, and whoever has the best strategy is going to win. And Sean Deeb is an intuitive, very, very smart card player. He wins at all the games. Raz, Sturd, Badusi, PLO, Hold'em. He wins at them all. He is a crusher. What's interesting to me is he has 7.5 million live caches, 7.5 million online caches. Roughly the same figure. You don't see this. You have guys with 20 million online and 1 million live. Or maybe people like Doc with 8 million live and 3 million online. Sean Deeb is the all-round player. He has just as much caches live as he does online. For a player who's in America, who has to travel to play online, this is huge. Sean Deeb will go down as a legend, for sure. I believe he will go into the Hall of Fame. Maybe Daniel Negreanu will try to get him not to be. They have a little bit of a tiff going on. But, people will love him. People will hate him. I love him. And he definitely, definitely will go down as a legend. Your 2009 number one Pocket Fives player is Sean Deeb. 2011 is a guy who absolutely is a legend. I know I'm saying legend a lot. These are the guys, remember, the top guys of each year. This is your number one. But this guy's not just number one then. He still plays a lot now. 2010 he crushed. 2011 he crushed. 2012 he crushed. 2013 he crushed. He had setbacks. Very famously, this guy, I haven't said his name yet. You're going to know who I'm talking about. But very famously, this guy got fucked over a bit with Black Friday. When Black Friday happened, it was around about this time. And this guy was crushing. He had a huge stable, lots of American players, and he got let down by a lot of people. I don't need to go into that. If he wants to do it himself, he can do. But your 2011 Pocket Fives number one player is Chris fucking Moorman. Legend, the most triple crowns. He had the highest cashes before all these 25Ks came in. He not only is he a great player, but he's a great ambassador for the game. He's been an 888 pro for multiple years now. He has 2 books which have come out, I believe. He still plays now. Whenever you play online, he's playing. He lives in America, he'll be playing ACR. When he's back at home for Christmas, he'll be playing PokerStars. He still crushes. He still plays live. He still plays online. Your 2011 number one Pocket Fives player is Chris fucking Moorman. 2012 legend of poker. Pocket Fives number one player for 2012, Griffin Benga. For me, Griffin Benga's biggest achievement is that he has been the guy who's been able to translate his skills from a similar industry and bring them into poker. A lot of people like Moorman or whoever else, myself, Lena, whoever else is going to be in the list, we've all kind of came like poker's our thing. We've done this from the start. Griffin really excelled in a previous career having this gaming background. A lot of people have tried before him, a lot of people have tried after him. You've got chess prodigies, Call of Duty guys, whatever else. They've all failed. Griffin Benga didn't fail. He got to number 1 in 2012. Since 2012, he has this famous episode of Will Kassouf where they have this beef and he makes Will Kassouf stack off with pocket kings against his pocket aces. He did have that success of reaching the final table that year of the WSOP main event. He doesn't play as much now, but we can see him on the Hendon Mob with a few appearances recently. In 2020, playing on GG. In 2019, he was also playing in Canada in some of his local, more lower buy-ins. Griffin's kind of excelled off the table now. He does more commentary. He's very active with the EPT and he does a lot of EPT commentary and he did some GPI stuff. He's kind of Robin to Sam Grafton's Batman. Very nice guy, very likable, and he's going to be our 2012 Pocket Fives #1 player. So 2013, I start playing tournaments. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think I do. I think, all right, I'm good at this game. And there was a guy there who played every day, but he was so bad. I was like, what's this guy doing? He plays every hand. He's too loose. Like I was playing 20% VPIP. I thought tight is right. You know, I've been watching Helmuth and watching everyone on TV playing so tight. This guy was playing 40% of hands on my HUD. 40%, but then I look at Sharks Cup and he won all the time. I look at Pocket Fives and he's #1. And I realized this guy plays twice as many hands because he's twice as good as me. He can make these hands profitable, which I and Helmuth certainly can't. Cal 42688, legend of the game. 2013 Pocket Fives, #1 is Cal. He still plays, he still crushes, he has a bracelet, he has success live, success online. He's always been a very successful staker, backer. One of the last guys, Griffin Benga, who just reached the final table of the main event. Cal is the guy standing behind him. You'll often see in these final tables of the main event in the Thunderdome, Cal is there behind, rooting on his guys, coaching the guys he stakes. He's been behind Pesh at times. He's been behind loads of very successful guys. This guy cannot be slept on. He is a legend of online poker, and you cannot sleep on the name Cal. He may not be the most famous, the most recognized, but to online guys, we really put a lot of respect by this guy's name, especially because he always played a different style to everyone else and made it so entertaining to play against him. Legend. Really, really respect you, mate. So your next one's quite an embarrassing one. Your 2014 Pocket Fives Player of the Year is myself, yours truly. I don't want to talk about if I was really good or whatever. I ran really well. I loved the game. I played a lot. 2014 was one of the most favorite years of my life. I will look back in the future and think 2014 was the pinnacle, was my happiest moments. So yeah, I love the year. I'm really grateful for the success, but I'm not going to go too much onto it. 2014, legend of the game. Not going to call myself that, but 2014 Pocket Fives #1 is yours truly. Pleno fucking what? 2015. Well. Who do we have here? The young prince himself, Fedor Holtz. This guy, man, what a legend. I believe that this accomplishment of him being #1 online gets slept on. Lots of people think about Fido of having Sun run live and running good and running good and running good. It's not true. Fido put in the work online first. Fido put in the work to get his fundamentals to a place where his ROI would be high enough to have an opportunity to run well. Remember, if your ROI is 5%, very tough to run well. If your ROI is 100%, very easy to run well. Fido put in the time on and off the tables on the online felt. In 2015, he was very, very feared. He got more and more feared as he played more live poker, but to the online guys, we respected him even more in 2015 than we may have done in 2017. He started to crush life, he quit poker, he retired, he made a business, he did this, he did that, he found himself, he did meditation, did yoga, office spaces. This guy has completed life, right? This guy has completed life. 2020 comes and he comes back. There's a global pandemic. He can't do the business stuff. He's okay. I'm going to come back to poker. Comes back and he crushed straight away. Won this high roller. Won that high roller. Was deep here. Was deep there. I played myself against him on final tables. He's very, very tough to play against still. He has his own poker course called Poker Code. He's very successful with that, I believe. So yeah, Fedor Holtz, absolute legend of the game, absolute legend of life, someone who I admire, someone who I look up to, someone who I've always aspired to kind of emulate his success. Huge legend of your game. 2015 Pocket Fives #1, Fedor Holtz. So this one pains me. This one really pains me. You've heard of Year of Romania, right? I think Year of Romania is like Romania was running well. You have Year of Uruguay, Year of Spain, whatever it may be. But 2016, 2017, 2018, I'm combining these all into one. This is the era of online MTTs where Sweden dominated. Didn't run well, wasn't the year of, they dominated for 3 years. Back to back to back. First of all, 2016, we have c.darwin, Simon Matson, incredible player. He hits number 1. 2017, we have Lena 900, his sidekick, Batman Robin. We have the same thing again. Lena comes to be number 1 in 2017. 2018, for the first time, by the way, we have a back-to-back number 1 pocket fives of the year. Lena 900 again. He holds on to his record in 2018 for 33 weeks, the longest record that I've seen from any number 1 on pocket fives. These guys played every single day, 6 days at least a week. They showed up. I would play 2 or 3 days a week. I would try to catch them up on these rankings. I just couldn't do it. Not only were they playing better than me, they were playing more than me. They were more consistent. They showed up. When I went to Vegas and had success, they were online, getting ahead of me, putting in the work. These guys are absolute legends. Not only are they good players, but they are great guys. Where are they now? They're still playing. They're still there in the battlefields. Lena actually wrote to me yesterday saying, oh, one day I'll retire. But he won't retire. Lena is born to play online MTTs. You're going to see at the end of the video, I'm doing my top 10 rankings of players. Lena has to be in there. He will always be in there. This guy is a legend. c.darwin is a legend. But yeah, 2016, 2017, 2018, this is the era of the Swedes. Legends. All right, we get some respect back. 2019 is another year where I did better than I did in 2018, 17, 16. 2019, I managed to get number 1 again. So, I've included myself in 2014. I've included myself again now in 2019. Very happy year for me. Lots of things changed in life. Put the backseat on a few things, put some more energy into playing a little bit more. I feel like in 2017 and 18 I stagnated a little bit as a player, and I feel like in 2019 I started to improve a lot more again. Was fortunate to run good in some good spots, and not going to say I was the best player in the world in 2019 or anything like that, but 2019 pocket fives number 1, I did manage to get there again, and I'm happy to include myself twice in this list, so let's fucking go. All right, guys, so we're back to 2020. 2020, number 1 right now stands as Giraf Ganga. Number 2 stands as One Connor B. Both of these players are amazing players who everyone has so much respect for, absolute legends of the game. However, 2020 has changed a lot. The ranking system has changed in a way where some sites don't allow the ranking system to be. I think Party hasn't been on there for many months of the year. And number 2 is there's so many high buy-ins this year that profit is kind of in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 13, 12, 2005. If you were number 1, you very likely were one of the most profitable players. In 2020, you can be number 1 but be a losing player. You can just play every tournament, rebuy, do everything, re-enter again and again and again, cash so much, and it's not really taking profit into account. So for 2020, I'm going to first of all give props to Giraf Ganga and Connor B because they deserve that respect. But I'm going to give my power rankings of who I find the toughest players to play against in 2020. So hopefully you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to do a little break now and then pull a system up with the tier rankings up. I'm going to rattle my brain, make some criteria, bring 10 guys into one, and then put them into tiers. So yeah, this is going to be the end of the Legends of Poker Pocket Fives number 1 of the year. And now we're going to do 2020 power rankings. Let's fucking go. Okay, so I've now made a tier system here. So I've brought in the 10 players who I believe are the 10 toughest players in the world right now. There's a few different factors I've taken into account here. Number 1 is how difficult I find them to play. Number 2 is, do they play volume? Are they actually showing up and playing? Number 3 is kind of, are they maybe playing some other games? Are they have some other attributes? Number 4 is obviously results. So there's 5 or 6 different factors I can put in here. 2 kind of people that I've excluded is 1, I've excluded people like Jason Kuhn and and these guys who don't play as much MTTs. These are all players who I believe I play against quite a lot. So obviously Jason Kuhn and these kind of players would obviously be on most lists. Justin Bonomo, whoever else. I'm not saying they're not in the top 10, so please don't say that. I'm just putting guys here who play a lot, who I've played against a bunch, who I've found it tough to play against, and I believe belong in this kind of list. So I hope that no one's taken anything too serious. And I've also not included any of my friends or anyone in BitB because I believe that would be too biased. I know their game really well, so it's obvious that I would kind of give them a higher ranking than they potentially deserve. So what I'm going to do now is go one by one. They're not in order yet, and I'm going to rank them 1 to 10. So if I make one of you guys 10, please don't think it's bad. I've put you in top 10 players in the whole world, so it should be a positive. So we're going to start from the left, and we've got Michael Adamo. Michael Adamo is a crazy, crazy, crazy man. Very, very good player. Very aggressive. Puts people into the toughest spots. Is always making deep runs. Has huge success live. Huge success online. Someone you do not want to have on your left. An extremely good player. So I'm going to put Adamo straight away number 1. This could change, but right now he's going to be number 1. Next guy, Botte on Poker. Botte on Poker is a legend. Has so much success in 2020. He is the breakthrough player of this list. He's the kind of player who I didn't know last year. I think I even had him marked as a weak player last year. However, 2020, he's just crushed. He's deep in everything. The World Series of Poker main event, I think he's final table on the chip leader somehow. This guy goes deep in everything. He seems like a really nice guy. I have to put him number 10 for now, but this may change going forward. Just going to do this and this. So he's number 10 right now, but it may change. Fish 2013, MIKITA BADZIAKOUSKI. I'm very sorry that I've said your name incorrectly, MIKITA. This is the guy who everyone just assumes is the best at ICM. This is the guy who plays final tables better than most people. I think a lot of people used to think that was meant playing tight, but it didn't. He's not a tight player. He's a guy who knows when to take future game into account, when to play tighter. He's very good at all forms of poker. Deep stack cash. He plays the highest stakes in the world. He's very good at heads up. He's very good shallow. As an all-round player, I believe he's the best or one of the best in the world. He's someone who I always would want on my side. However, his volume isn't that high. He hasn't necessarily had huge results in WCOOPs or WSOPs, whatever else, I don't believe. So he has to be in my top 10. There will never be a top 10 without MIKITA, but he has to be lower of the 10 for now, I believe. Next guy, Lena 900. I mean, this is a guy who was number 1 33 weeks in a row. He is still grinding 5-6 days a week. Another thing for Lena is he's very good at PLO tournaments. He shows up. He has to be in the top 5. There's no way that I cannot have a top 5 without Lena. I'm going to put him number 5 right now, but it may change. But I promise, Lena, you're not going out of my top 5. You never will, that's for sure. Next player, another breakthrough player, Marafa. This is a Russian player, again, like MIKITA from that Eastern Bloc where he's so consistent. I think I read on his GG staking profile, he's cashed over 5 million this year. It's crazy. He has a very good style of playing. He's very aggressive, kind of a different style to a lot of how my friends play, but he's definitely a top player. Is he at the very top, like elite? I'm not sure. Top 10 means he's elite regardless. So like, I'm not trying to put anything on his name. I'm going to put him number 8 right now. I'm going to put him above MIKITA because he's been more consistent, more successful in 2020, I believe. He shows up more, he plays more. He may sneak up to 7th or 6th when we get to the end. Next guy, PASCAL LEFRANCOIS. So around about 6 months ago, I may not have included PASCAL into this list. I think he was more kind of a cash game background. But as the year's gone on, he's become more and more impressive. I did some commentary last week on the, I think it was a 100k final table or maybe a 25k final table on Party. And he ran the show. He was so impressive. He played so well on that final table. And it showed that he really understood how to kind of switch the gears up. I think PASCAL with chips is going to be so far up close to Michael Adamo. One of the reasons why I may not put him up to like number 2, number 3 is because he does come more from the cash game background than a tournament background. But if you look back to say 2010, 2011, he actually has a lot of success playing these kind of live tournaments. I believe he final tabled the PCA. I think he won a bracelet on his second ever tournament, which is crazy. So I'm going to put Pascal as number 7 right now. And another guy who, even though he's a legend and been around forever, I believe has had like somewhat of a breakthrough year, if that is at all possible. Number 2, I'm going to put him right there. It's Tian de Mulder. Tian de Mulder is new breed. He comes from the cash game background, but Tian de Mulder is somebody who is just so impressive, so tough to play against. He's a guy who makes his own strategies. Playing against him, he does a lot of things. He limps the button off like 50 big blinds, which no solver suggests. He knows how to exploit the player pool. He's very aggressive. He understands ICM. He's someone who I really don't like playing against. He has to be in my top 5. He has to be. He's had so much success, huge wins on PokerStars, huge wins on Party Poker. He's unfortunate not to be number 1. We're going to keep Adamo there for now, but I'm going to put Tian de Mulder as our number 2. Next guy, Tim Adams, another very, very, very impressive player. A guy who maybe like not too long ago was still more stronger in terms of cash games. Maybe like hadn't played so many final tables or hadn't had so much experience in tournaments. And you look at his results and he just has. He's cashed for millions and millions and millions of dollars. The fact that he has a cash game background we can't hold against him. If anything, it makes him stronger. As a heads-up player or a free-handed player, he's going to be just so impressive. I believe he knows when to switch gears. I believe that he's absolutely elite. And in terms of consistency and volume, even up to last week, he won the GG 10K Super Millions. So he has to be in this list. The top 10 MTT list has to include Tim Adams. I believe he's still hungry, still playing a lot. Such a nice guy. Like, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him in my life. He has to be number 3 for me right now. Number 4, we have Yuri Martins. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I'm so friendly with Yuri. The nerd guy, I'm putting him in my top 5. And the reason why I'm putting him in my top 5 is because he's an all-round player. He's good at all the mixed games. He's good at PLO. He's got a bracelet in like half Raz, half Stud or one of these crazy games recently, 2019. He's won a W Cup main event. He still plays a lot. I believe he crushes. I believe he's very good theoretically, but he has that Brazilian flair as well. I'm going to put him in my top 5, and that may be controversial to a lot of people, but for me, I think he ticks all the boxes. He plays a lot. He's good at all the games. He has great results. He understands the solver stuff. He understands ICM stuff. I believe he has to be in the top 5, and I'm going to put him number 4. Last but not least, we have Malika Style. Malika Style, I'm going to put in as number 6. Malika is a guy who's been so consistent. He's been playing a lot and he's been winning a lot. He's very tough to play against. Another player who understands ICM. I believe he was one of the biggest winners on GG 25Ks before it got deleted, all the results. For whatever reason, it got deleted. I'm going to put him up there number 6, and that's going to finalize my list. So let's have a look round. Do we want to make any alterations? Tino number 2 or Adamo number 1? I'm going to leave Adamo number 1. Yuri or Lena? I feel like Lena is just such a legend and so consistent. I have to put him that a little bit higher. He was never going to be out my top 5, but I believe I have to put him number 4. So I'm going to put him number 4, and I'm going to put Yuri number 5. Between Malika and Pascal, I believe, it's somewhat what either way could go. I believe Marafa may find himself unlucky to be number 8, but the players ahead of him are just so great as well. And yeah, the guys below as well. I believe it's a great list. We have Australia, Netherlands, Canada, Sweden, Brazil, Spain, Canada, Russia, Belarus, and Brazil. So we have players from, loads of different countries. All these players are in different groups. Hopefully no one's going to be too mad. I would love to know who I've missed out. Tell me in the comments, who have I missed out? Tell me if you like this documentary style of a video. Gonna finish it now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. And yeah, all the normal stuff. Please, if you do enjoy and like these documentary kind of style videos or this ranking style of videos, let me know and I can do more of them. I want to change it up, do something a little bit different. So thanks again, and I'm going to end the video now. Cheers.